This is problem 1 in Module 6, Novice Problems. We've got a problem here of a small business that has access to certain types of projects, and they want to know what kinds of projects they should select to maximize revenue and still live within the constraints that they have, which is they've only got a limited number or finite number of each of the projects available that they can participate in. And each project uses up resources. They have 4 resources, A, B, C, and D, and there's a maximum resource usage that's available there. So here's our table. And this table can be read in the following way. Project 1, this will be X1, or in our formulation, has a maximum of 25 projects. So you can imagine this is going to be a constraint of some sort, that X1 has to be less than or equal to 25. The revenue is 4,500, so someplace in the objective function where we're trying to maximize revenue, we're going to see 4,500 times X1. And then we're going to have 4 constraints, one each for the 4 resources A through C. The first constraint says that for every unit of X1 that I use up 3 units of available resource. For every unit of X2 that I use up 9 units of resource. For every unit of X3 that I use or select, I use up 3, etc. And the sum of those, X1 times 3, X2 times 9, etc., must be less than or equal to 450. You just can't go over that quantity. That's the maximum number of resource units allowed. And the same for these other 3. So what's this formulation going to look like? The formulation is pretty simple. Our objective function is 45,000 times X1, 63,000 times X2. These revenues times the number of projects of X1 type all the way through X4 type that I'm going to be using. And then we have a constraint set. Let's first look at the bottom of the constraint set, which is fairly easy to understand. X1's got to be less than 25, X2 less than 30, etc. And that comes from the number of projects that are available given to us in the table here in this green column. Next, let's look at the resource variables. For every unit of X1, I use up 3 units of resource A. This is resource A, resource B, resource C, resource D. And you can see that these coefficients represent the values that are in these columns. And the right-hand side of each constraint is this number here at the bottom. In this case, 450. In this case, 490, etc. There are some zeros in here. We can enter those in as 0 coefficients in front of these decision variables, but of course they disappear because there's nothing there. Okay, that concludes problem 1, mod 6, novice problems.